Hi, it's Jez here from Nigezza Creates. Thank you for joining me today. If you are new to my channel, welcome. If you're returning, thank you for your support and viewing me. I am gonna use these wax seals. So I think last video we were making these wax seals, a little Christmas present I got, and so I thought it would be a good idea to do some projects using them. How could I use them? So I had a little thunk, and I decided that they would look nice on an envelope. I mean, they are sort of designed for sealing sort of envelopes, so I thought, well, let's do that. But of course I want to be able to open the envelope, so I'm using up some Christmas paper in a non-Christmas project as well, which is also I like to do that. So this, can you hear? It's a magnet. I love using magnets. So I just made an envelope with a sort of a journaling spot there. It is also a 6-inch, well, it's not 6 inches by 6 inches. I did cut it down, but I've got these Christmas papers that are 6 by 6, and I think the fact that I put gold gilding wax on it, I thought let's use some papers with some gold in and make them not Christmassy. So that's what I decided to do. It's 4 inches wide, this one, so you end up with a 2-inch strip, and but I extended it like so. So I've got a nice little envelope there. With a 2-inch strip, I had a little scrap of something else just to try it out, and I didn't put a seal on this, but I did much the same way. Is I made a smaller envelope again with a magnetic closure, so you get 2 out of here. I might make this one slight, because this is actually just over 2 inches, so I thought rather than make 2 3-inch ones, I'd do it this way. Make one big and one small. I've also got this Christmas paper, which is what I made this out of, and the inside's quite light, so I didn't think it needed, I think you can easily write on that. So that's what I'm going to do, and because I thought that this would look nice on this one, I thought this bit of foliage went quite well with the foliage in this, so that was why I picked that out. And I'm going to use, I think, that one on there, or I could use one of these. They're cute, aren't they? Make a I shall think about that. Actually, I'm not sure what I want to do. So yeah, that's enough of the waffle. Let's get started. So let's just cut this down. So I say I did the other one 4 inches wide, this one. I could do 2 the same at 3 inches wide, but let's go 3.5 and 2.5. Let's do that so that we're ending up with different ones. I might do this one at 4. They're both 6 inches long. I could make this longer actually, because I've got that height. How long is it? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. It's 9 inches long. Don't think it needs to be 9 inches long, but we'll see. I might trim a bit off, so I'm going to cut that at 4, so we get a 4-inch wide one. And then I've got a strip there of 2 inches. I've also got one here. How big's that? That's a 3-inch one that I started making, and I thought, stop, let's do a video. So there we go. So lots of different sizes, so you know, use your scraps. You don't have to measure, just do whatever you want. So first thing I did was to find the center point, so I just folded at the top, give a little pinch, so then I've got the center point, and then just pull your 2 corners in to meet ish. There you go. Don't have to be exact. Bone folded jazz, there it is. Don't have to be exact. That'll be good enough. If you want to pull it in a bit more, you can. And then I just folded it over so that you've got a little bit of a straight line either side. And then fold the bottom up. This isn't going to need an extension, is it? So fold that up there, not quite to the top. And there we have a little envelope. That's fairly square, that one. Simples. Got the starting of an envelope there. So do the same with this one. Give it a pinch. Fold our corners in. Try and get them to meet there. There we go. Fold this one down again so you've got a little bit of a straight edge there. And this one is not, this one's going to need an extension like I did on this one, because when we fold that up, we want a bit of a gap there. So we fold that one up. Make it straight. So we're going to put a bit of extension on that to create our envelope. I'll go for this one. This one's a bit wider as well. And because this is longer, it might be too long, so I might end up chopping a bit off. There we go. By giving it a pinch at the top, that sort of helps when you're folding in the sides for it to not go too far over. So, well, of that coming down a bit there on the side. Come down maybe a bit further than I would like. Oh, do you know? Yeah, that'll work. So I won't lob a bit off. There we go. And there's a nice big envelope. And actually, this is quite a big seal, so a big envelope's quite good. And then we've got another wee one. I'm not going to make that one. So just quick, easy little makes with scraps or using up your 6x6. I say I wanted to use up some leftover Christmas paper. This is from the Stampin' Up Christmas catalogue, and I just wanted to use them up. They retire very soon. 5th is the, so 4th they retire. So there we go. So that's that bit. So these ones are pretty easy because they don't need any extending. These ones are quite light on the inside, easy to write on. I mean, you could write on that as well, to be fair. It doesn't necessarily need covering with paper like I did here. So yeah, that's quite easy. These two little ones, I'm not going to magnetic closure with them. I think I might just put a little tuck for them. So I'm just going to I'm going to just do a little bit of inking because we've got some white core showing, so I'm going to ink that bit before I stick it down, and I'll ink everything else. So I just wanted those ends inking. before it's stuck. I mean, you could make it like an envelope. You'd put something in by gluing the sides up. But I like these fold over ones, and I think they go well folding over the top of a page in a journal. Tucked in a pocket, belly band, whatever you like. So that's that. I'm going to do some more inking. So there we go. It's just got a little bit of a white core, and I don't like seeing that in my journals. I also like to see a little bit of the ink. Although I'm not gonna stick a seal on this, I don't think. Might do. Wasn't my intention to. And then we'll just go over these ones on the inside. So making this, it's New Year's Eve. I'm waiting in for Amazon delivery, so I've missed out on the New Year's Eve walk, but having had one parcel allegedly be delivered when I was in, so it wasn't. So I have to start a claim for that. I didn't want to miss this. This was my Christmas money spend one, so I definitely didn't want to miss it. Right, I'm just going to go round and ink all these edges. So I'm going to pause the video whilst I do that because you don't need to see it. So they're all inked now. So these ones are not going to have a magnet. Those ones are, so I'm not sealing that bit yet because that's where I'm going to put the magnet. So just lay those down. But on these, that's where the magnet gets stuck under there. And on this one, it's under there, and it's also under that little saying there. On this, it's underneath here somewhere. It might even be on this side. It's there, so I'm not sure. Yeah, I stuck it on the other side here. Glad I checked that. So here's my magnets. So I buy them from Amazon. Usually buy them in a pack of 100. They are, depending on what I can get. So these ones, don't say the size on it. They're always 1 millimeter deep, and they're either 8 or 10 millimeters. These look like they're 8 millimeters wide, 8 or 10. I prefer 8 because obviously they're smaller. Chew, sneezing. But 10 are all right. I did once buy some that were like 3 millimeters wide. Yeah, you can't see them. You can't pick them up. So yeah, you don't want to go too small. There we go. I like a nice strong glue to stick them in. So I've got a little bit of Tombow. So I'm just going to stick that there, little blob, just back from the point, and then just separate them. Just stick it down. There we go. And Stick that one down. Don't matter which way round you stick them. And now we can glue these down. Because they're really strong magnets, they work through the paper. You have to get the neodymium, I've probably said that completely wrong, to make sure that they will stick. They're nice strong magnets. Because that's not quite closed over there, I'll probably stick something over that if I'm bothered. Right, so what I'm going to do with this is stick magnet on there, put some Tombow on that side, close it down and give it a good press, and then I can see the outline of the glue, so I'm going to pop a bit more on there, and now I can pick this off and I can see where to glue it. And then that will be covered with decoration. This one, it's going to get glued on that side and covered over, so it is slightly harder to locate it. So doing that, I'm going to give a good press to try and make a little bit of an indentation here. So it is about there. So I'm gonna put that there. And so now this is as well, what you've got to do is think about where that's going to go. So you want to imagine that's gone under there, so it's that side that needs to glue there, because you don't want it to repel. So that is my magnets in place. There we go. So for this one, it's going to have some paper covering it. I've got, this is 120 GSM tea-dyed paper. It's laid paper. It's got a little bit of detail on it. So what I need to do is think about how long it's got to be. So it's got to be 3 1/8 to cover all the way to there, and then I want to come up to about there. If I do another 1/8, then I can round it up to a quarter. So if I call that 2 3/8, with that 1/8 is 2 1/2, and then 3, so that's 5 1/2 inches that I want this to be, and it is, forgotten how wide, 3 1/2 wide. So 3 1/2 wide, and 5 1/2 inches long. I might go a little bit longer to over that a tad. I went underneath it on this one. I stuck it down before I stuck that down. There we go. So I might just go slightly over it. Obviously I'll then trim the corners off. So we want to bend about there. Give that a good burnish. So that's where that's going to be. And then we can see where that is there. It's come down quite a bit actually. It might come down a little bit too much. I might need to fold it up a tad more. Because what I'm watching for is when that's folded down. So I only want a little gap there. I had too much because otherwise we'd see it. So I think that won't quite in. Yeah. So we want to make sure that the gap there between this fold and the end here, that gap there is smaller than that bit there. So I think we're all right with that now. That will work. So I am going to glue this in place, and then we'll leave it to dry a little bit before we sort of properly fold it up. And I'm just going to ink round because I made that mistake last time. Is the top and the bottom ends. I didn't, particularly the bit that sticks up here. I hadn't inked this bit, so made it harder. So I'll just ink around it all, but not the creasy bits because I can do that afterwards. So that's where we're going with that. Doesn't matter that there's 2 creases, it's junk journal. No need for perfection or precision. There we go. I thought this would be a quick video. Yeah, you know what thought did. Try and butt that up as much as possible. A little bit of wiggle edge. I should have glued. There we go. I've made a mistake so that you don't have to, because I'm generous like that. I should have put glue on the pattern paper, not on this, because I didn't need glue on that bit, but it doesn't matter because I collaged over that bit anyway, so it is okay. So I'm just gonna smooth that out. And I say not worry too much about that, what I did there. Okay, so we've got that there. So we need to do a little bit of decoration across this. I'm not sure if that's going to be long enough. It's a bit short. I'll probably use that one on that one because that's like the perfect size for that. It's just a little scrap that I add. So let's have a little bit of, let's get my scrap drawer out. So this is my scrap drawer with book pages and things. Oh, I like that. That's quite cool. Could use that. Could use it maybe along the top, liking that. Some music and book paper and matte paper. Oh, that matte paper is quite nice, isn't it? Because it's green with it, isn't it? Do I need to cover a bit up there? I could do that. Just bung a bit of that around there. Yeah. Got a bit of music here. Give that a rip. Some more music. Oh, that's a nice big bit of music paper there. Bit of encyclopedia. What have I got here? Oh, that's Well, I was going to make an envelope out of that. That's double thickness, so won't be using that. Corrugated, bit thick in it. Bit thick, don't want that. So sometimes I glue on the back of junk mail, so it's a bit thicker, but it's too thick for these purposes. Bit of that, there you go. Let's put the rest away. Oh, maybe that. Right. I'll probably do a bit of stamping as well. Right, I'm just going to put that on the floor, because if I try and put it in the drawer, I'll be here all day. So it just needs something to sort of cover up where that's going. And if I want to decorate behind this, the way I did it before is I stuck it a little bit up so that it was firmly adhered all around, because my fear is if I put it over the edge that it's not protected, it might break. So we're going a little bit further up, and I simply put a little bit of paper behind. So I might do that. Let's have a little look, see what I've got. I'll take a bit of this. And then what I might do is just see where it's coming down like that. That's stuck to the magnet. There we go. And that will stick, fit there. So now I just got to decide if I want it. I might cut the bottom bit off, so we can just see a bit of music either side. So just take the end off. Da, da, da. Give it an ink. And then I'm gonna stick this on. I think that will look. Yeah, liking that. So I'm gonna use your Tombow to stick it down. Lashings of Tombow. You don't really need that much, Jez. That's that. Oh, I should have. Oh, I can cut it. Gonna just stick a bit of that on the end there. moved it. Still okay. That'll be grand. I'll just snip that. Just on the corner. Give it a bit of a little bit of an edge there, and that nicely covers where you can just see the magnet a tad. Gonna just and you can see where the magnet is, but you know, I quite like that as a look. There we go. So we just need to cover this bit a little bit. Oh, we've got a bit of that. I might use that. So what I sometimes do when I've got strips left is I just stamp on them. I do like that look. We're gonna have that. What else could we have? I think that was just digital I printed, and then it's been, I think that's inked on the other side actually. Oh, I might take that. Go that way, got a bit more to grab hold of that side. No idea what the digital is because it's just a scrap. And then I might put a little something behind. This is a book page. So, fussy tearing that leaf. Ed and his dad's back from their walk. I could have gone because Amazon's not gold. But we did know that that was probably going to happen. could have done a perfume bottle actually. The most beautiful colours and the very finest fragrance. And I have got Stampin' Up stamp with perfume bottles. So I could actually stamp on the inside maybe with those. Maybe. Right, that's too neat an edge. I like ripping because then you get a slight fluffy edge. And so when you ink it, it's going to take the ink a little bit more because you've got the core of the paper. There we go. So stick you across like that. You along the top. And you're going like so. Yeah. Liking how that's looking. I'm going to do some stamping first though, actually. So let me get some stamps out. There, so I found the perfume set, Fanciful Fragrance. I'm glad I remembered that. So I think I might stamp these perfume bottles on there. Got a nice border and some script as well. So what I might do is just go like that. Yep. And I might stick some on the inside. Yep. Let's have a bit of a border along the top. I think that's nice. And then we've got this sort of script. So I'm thinking some on there, some over there. I've got nothing on the back yet. Don't want to push the seal. So as if it's a dress. Let's have some on here. There. I might got a little bit. Ink all over my fingers now. Right, so that's the stamping done. So let's get these glued down. So I'm gluing it down so that I'm not covering all of that magnet, so that it's stuck well down around it. And then we're going to stick this so I think that's quite cool. Nice little collage opening like that. So I'm gonna do something on the back here, I think. Okay, so I found this stamp from my stamp collection and I thought that'll work really nicely. It's nice colour. And I have these postmarks, so I've got some different stamps, and I just stamped them all on some scrap paper and then cut them out. So I've picked a couple of those, and I'm going to take the postmark here from, this is a retired Stampin' Up set, and I like the Life is a Magnificent Adventure, so I thought I'd stamp them. So I'm gonna just give this a little ink. I bought these stamps from a charity shop. They were in a pack, and some of them are stuck together, so there is a little bit there of previous stamp that was stuck to it, but I thought that's okay. That gives me something to ink over, and it gives it another little bit of a look. So yep, not a problem at all. So I do sometimes find when I'm bored, not bored, never bored particularly, but you know, I've got a bit of time on my hands, don't really want to do a project, I'll just get out scraps, do some stamping on. I like to use, sometimes like in books where you get these edges, so if I rip them off, I keep the edges and then I stamp things like this, and then I just put them in my little pots ready for use whenever. Or it might be scraps of tea dyed paper, and then they just nice little additions that you can just add quickly. I just felt we needed a little something on here. Put that down there. And then we'll put the stamp on, and then I'll just stamp the franking marks on it. So let's open it up. So we've got a nice flat surface. Oh, didn't stick that down too well. And then we'll just stamp over there like that. Perfect. And then stamp that on there. It's not showing up too much, but I might stick it over here. Put it down there. Oh, off camera. Let's put it down there. And that is that envelope. That envelope done, ready to go in my pre-made stash. So now the red one. So let's give that a little burnish now. Now the magnet's there, so that needs a little bit more gluing, and I'll be gluing something over that because I don't know if you can see the magnet there. So I'll be gluing something over the top of that, so that will be okay. And then we need to bend this. Okay. There we go. And so I need to just trim those little bits off there. Like that. And we want to ink these folds. Ink that fold. And then just that little bit there where I've cut it off. So there we are. We're all sorted, ready to just do a bit of collage in. Oh, that's cracked a bit now. I think it's now because it's got so thick now with the need to change that. It's looking a bit like it's had better days, but I'm not bothered about the cracking. I think it just adds to the the oldness that it looks. So I need to put something over that, and I need to collage on there. Now I did have a die cut thing, that is, so I think I'm going to put that on there, but I need something to go on there first. So could stick that over there. Yeah, certainly could. So I'm just going to collage in the same way as I did the other envelope, and I might do some stamping. This is what I did on the other one. There we go. So I've got the stamps out that I used before, so I may as well use the same ones. So that's going to go across there. It's quite nice thick paper, so that we know that the magnet's well and truly covered. So let's do some stamping. Not sure how much ink is left on this one. Put a bit over there. It's okay. Bit down there. A bit less on that. Quite like that. Give that a oh, it's pretty. Very pretty. Yep. And I might not got much of it there. Put a bit more there. Yeah, that'll do. So glue these down. Need something there. Might use one of these actually. Yeah, stick that on it. Works for me. I've just remembered I got glue over it, so it's not all covering. So let's just get rid of the residue of that glue where I made that mistake. Otherwise I do have to cover it. That's going to cover most of that up. Just a little bit there, which I think I'm going to get away with. There. I think that's looking very cool. So need a bit on that. Got that bit of music paper from the other one. Yeah, that'll work. I'll just stick that up there. I think we might do a bit of stamping. Might stamp it at the bottom as well. And then it's quite pretty to open. And then that's going to have, so what should we put on it? So I think we will go with that one because that's more red than that. So I might get a circle punch. Yeah, a 1-inch circle to go around that. Yep, I think that'll do. So now I just need to decorate on the back there. Just looking at my others. So this one I just did a little cluster. Didn't even do it like a, and that one I did it like it was an address. So quite like the idea of a wee cluster. I've got a number there. Got some stamps here, wrong colours though, aren't they? Yeah. Tickets. Oh, I've got a nice little circle there. I wonder if I put the layer the lumber over the top. Oh, I like that. I like that. I think that looks well cool. Well cool. Right. I am gonna take the edge of this paper and I'm going to stamp that on it. Not quite straight. Let's try a little better here. Yeah. Alright, so I'm just going to get those all inked, ready to stick down. So there we are. I think it was a little bit ambitious to think I could make these as well. That took me a lot longer than I thought. But these will be decorated up in a similar way, and I will either magnetize it like that, or I'll put a little something on here that it will tuck into. Well, I'm not magnetising it because I think so. That's what will happen. I'll put something across there that it will clip into. But there we go. So these were our 2 originals, and then this is what I've made today. So I've kept that front bit simple on both of them. They've both got something there covering that gap. Decorate the front there. That's ready for writing. And then the other side of it looking like that. So I think a lovely little addition to some journals. So, and using my wax seals. So I have enjoyed making these wax seals, so I'll come up with some other ideas for them. And yeah, I'll have some close-ups over on nigezza.co.uk, so do pop over there